Hey YouTube. So summer is coming to a close here in Vancouver. It's sad. I'm gonna miss it. As much as I look forward to like sweaters and shit, I am a summer person and it's sad that the weather's starting to turn. I mean, not yet, it's still hot. Vancouver does this weird thing at the end of summer where it's still like crazy hot, but it starts to get like all like humid and like gross and sweaty for a few weeks. So by the time the temperature actually drops, you're like, oh, thank fuck, it is finally happening. Yeah, so September's coming up. I'm getting ready to go back to school full time, and also still working two jobs, so I'll be crazy busy again. But you know, there's worse things to be than crazy busy. I try not to complain about it. And September will be 6 months on T for me, which is it's a cool milestone. I'm looking forward to it. And I've noticed that I'm really starting to pass more often than not on the street now. Just in the past couple of weeks, I think something has really turned. Or maybe I'm just noticing it, I don't know. And it's got me thinking a lot about what it means to pass and what it means to go stealth. People seem to have a lot of strong opinions on what that means, and everybody makes, a lot of good points. There's people saying that we shouldn't have to hide our trans identities, and there was a time in history not too long ago when it would have been something very celebrated. And I mean, this whole notion of passing is pretty flawed anyways when you come at it from a point of like, what does this gender binary even mean? Yada, yada, yada. It's all very theoretical and it all makes a ton of sense. For a long time, I had a lot of sticky feelings around it though. I just couldn't, I wanted to get on board with this whole idea that passing doesn't matter, but I just couldn't quite. And it came from a really emotional place. And I think that's why it took me so long to get my head wrapped around why that is. The thing that sticks out for me is considering how much privilege you have to have going into this idea of not caring about passing. I don't ever plan on being stealth. I hope I'm never in a position where I have to. For me, I'm in a really like interesting spot with it too, because I am just in school, and before too long I'll be out there working in a field where it will be okay to be trans and to be out and all that good stuff, and I really hope to make it, a big part of the work I do. That being said, at the same time, I'm working in two different industries, like the restaurant industry and moving, so trades, where I feel like my life would be a lot easier if I were stealth. Little backstory to that too. Unfortunately, the moving company I was working for, it's closed its doors. It's a long story, but their contracts have been switched over to this other company who I met the other day, and they seem super nice, but they're not the same. I feel like I'm the first trans person they've ever met, and the woman I met handled it great. She was a total sweetheart about it. But for that week or two when I wasn't sure what was going to happen, I was really, really stressed out about finding a job as a trans person, sort of in this really like ambiguous, androgynous spot where I am now. Back in the day, I was a server. I looked a lot different then. I don't think I would get a job as a server now. Maybe in a few more months when I'm passing, but right now, definitely not. And yeah, I was really, really stressed out about finding a job right now, looking how I do. And with that in mind, it's hard to contest this idea that passing matters, because for a lot of people, passing can be the difference between finding a job and not. It could be the difference between finding housing and not. And unfortunately, especially for trans women and especially for trans women of color, it can be a life or death situation. I would love it if we didn't live in a world like that, but unfortunately we do. And I think those of us who have the privilege to be able to exist in the world as a trans person who's not stealth, we really, really need to do our work. We need to do our part to change that system that makes it so that other people don't have the privilege of not being stealth. Yeah, so that's how I feel about stealth. Yeah, anyways, I think that's it for now. That was my rant of the day. I do have more things that I want to update about. I just don't want to try to cram them all into one video, so maybe I'll do another one like tomorrow or even maybe later today. I don't know. All right, bye.